first things first, Kami, over the holidays, there was something that you posted on social media. And Kami, I'll let you go into this a little further.
Sure.
But the idea of the National Hockey League playing around Christmas Eve.
Yes. So I was sitting there. I had to go to the mall, which is really fun on the 24th. It actually wasn't bad. I was there early, so I shouldn't complain. I hate them all, but it was okay. So I was having a beer after at Moxie's, and I'm sitting there looking at the TV. I'm like, it's like showing a football game from last year, and it's like a bunch of replays. And so I get on one of the sports apps that I got. I'm like, I wonder what's on today. There's literally nothing on except for the Hawaii Bowl. Cal's playing Hawaii at 6 p.m. Eastern or Western.
Everybody watched that game that night.
Seriously.
Ratings were through the roof.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, well, why doesn't the NFL, right? You know, I mean, the NFL is trying to take it over, but the NBA on Christmas, the NFL is there now. We got a wide open day. Like, I understand it's Christmas Eve and kids and families and stuff like that, but that's not everybody. I mean, I spent the last 3-4 days at, pretty much at the bar. It was pretty busy. So there's people that want to watch and, maybe play some bets or whatever they're doing. So I was thinking like, okay, I get it. You don't want travel. So this is just off the top of my head. And maybe there's a travel. My thinking was it's got to be really close. Like, you're not staying overnight. You're not getting on a plane, nothing like you can drive to the game if you want, take a train to the game, whatever. So I was thinking like, let's say kickoff noon Eastern, start first game. You got the Rangers playing the Islanders. And then right after that's done, or as it's ending, move into the Devils play Philly. So those are car rides or a train ride or whatever. And then once that's done, you got the Ducks play the Kings and have that start at would be 3 p.m. Pacific. So that's at 6 o'clock Eastern. And then that's it. No more. And I got to say, the responses on Twitter, I know it's just Twitter, but it was one of my more, other than me roasting Babs, that was one of my more popular tweets I think I've ever posted. People liked it. You got the odd person that was like, no, they need their rest. And look, hey, I get it. Like, okay, you don't get the 24th off. This is going to become a thing. And just like 3 games, you don't need the whole league plan or whatever like that. Yeah, all right. Well, sorry, you have to play on Christmas Eve day, but you get the 27th off. I'd rather have the 27th off personally, but I don't know. I think it's a wasted opportunity. When I'm sitting there looking at the TV and there's nothing on and there's people that want to watch something, like, why not have 3 hockey games? It'd be on every single TV.
You killed it on Christmas Eve, Kami. Because I saw it and I was like, yeah, it was completely right. And yes, there's no way the league needs to touch Christmas Day.
No.
Like, don't even bother.
No, that would be dumb.
No, it's you don't go up against any of the other, but this year especially, it was so noticeable that there was nothing to do and nothing on TV. And we were all sitting around, we're all hanging out. We're at friends' house. I've 3 different friends, and there's nothing going on. There's nothing to talk about. There's no TV. There's no sports. It would have been a perfect time to crank out the Olympic commercials, crank out Team Canada Olympic crank out all of the NHL propaganda that we possibly could have on Christmas Eve. And to your point, the other thing that I thought about it for the day. The other thing is, it doesn't have to be a yearly thing, because if it ends up being this year where Christmas Eve's on a Wednesday, that's perfect. If it ends up Christmas Eve on a Sunday, then you're not going to go up against. So then you just take your 3 days. But you can work it in and look ahead over the next 5 years and say, okay, teams, put your hand up if you want to play in these games. Like, let the organizations kind of pick themselves if they're close. Like you said, Kami, everybody's home by 6 o'clock their time, wherever they are, for Christmas Eve dinner and Santa Claus coming into the house. And then, to your point, they back in that extra day, and maybe they get maybe even the league gives them an extra 2 days. So maybe the teams that play on Christmas Eve get incentivized to have 4 days off at the Christmas break. So the guys who do want to go home, all right, you have to play Christmas Eve, but you can get on a plane at 7 o'clock local time and have an extra day away. So you can incentivize this in a big way, and you don't have to do it every year, but you can pick your spots on when Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe even a Thursday lines up that Christmas Eve is that day. The league The league could do this, and I bet the players would go along with it if you played nicely and found a way around it, made a plan. Love it.
I totally agree with what you guys are saying. I love the idea, and this is something that for me for years have kind of wondered in a league that is based on revenues, that the players get a cut of what league revenues are. And we have seen the revenues grow exponentially. Like, we shut down an entire year of hockey 20 years ago in order to create a new financial landscape, right? So now everybody's got a dog in the hunt here. And I just don't understand this oversensitivity for the league to be so glaringly mindful of needing to give everybody holidays off, right? Like, yeah. I don't get it at the time where the NBA has gone for years with multiple games on Christmas Day from the beginning of the day until the end of the night. And you know what I never see for those games? I don't see empty seats. They are always packed typically. And you go back to Thanksgiving, where the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions were the first two teams really to kind of say, you know what? We'll take those Thanksgiving games. And you know what they turned out to be? Cash cows. Mm-hmm. They're huge. They generate huge ratings. And now the NFL has decided to go in on Christmas Day to play 3 games. And you know what? You know what people did? They watched them. They watched them all day, right? Like, people are watching. And exact comment, your point about Christmas Eve, you were spot on. You know, here's my 76-year-old dad calling me on Christmas Day, and we're talking across the country. And what's he saying? Oh, man, last night I was watching that Hawaii Bowl. Right. And Timmy Chang, former CFL quarterback Timmy Chang was now the head coach of Hawaii. And you know what? Everybody knew everything about Hawaii in this game that really nobody – the only reason why they were watching it is because it was the only freaking thing on. And
we could have had Connor McDavid on Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Edmonton, Calgary. Easiest thing in the world.
Play the hits.
Everybody gets to see Connor McDavid on Christmas Eve. Imagine what people, whoever that Hawaii guy was, like, Connor put him to shame.
Razor, Commie, you guys both played. You guys were both players. You guys were part of negotiations for CBAs and this sensitivity. But you guys tell me, like, is it that bad a thing? Like, is Christmas and Christmas Eve, and I get Christmas Eve is kind of the real special night for Europeans, but is it really that hallowed ground that you would rather give up some potential hockey revenue rather than, like, you have a chance to make some more money for everybody?
I don't get it either. Maybe I'm not the right guy to ask because I've never had kids. And so, like, the Christmas break for me was like having a few beers or whatever and having a couple of young guys over or whatever. I personally, for me, I would have preferred to have the 27th off and not the 24th, because the 24th, there's some things to do or whatever, but some things are closing early and whatnot. And there's nothing really going on, Christmas Eve. So I would have rather had, I'll play that day and give me the 27th off. That would be my thinking.